You know, it's kind of exciting for me to be in downtown Plattsburgh with this many people because it's reminiscent of so many 4th of July parades in the past. However, we're on July 3rd, 1999, when the parade and fireworks display are planned for downtown Plattsburgh. In case I don't look very patriotic, I assure you I have my red, white, and blue boxer shorts on. If you don't believe that, I ain't going to show you, folks. But we're down here for a lot of fun this year. Things are different in downtown Plattsburgh. There is no Plattsburgh Air Force Base anymore. For the first time in many years, there are no fireworks on the old base oval. So many people got the word that the parade was going to be held at 5 o'clock today, one of many 4th of July parades held around the North Country. And believe me, the weatherman got the word before anybody else did. It is a delicious and delightful 3rd day of July 1999 on a Saturday afternoon as we speak, just a little tad after 5 o'clock. And literally thousands of people are already thronging into the streets in downtown Plattsburgh. The all-new downtown Plattsburgh. Don't those new street lights look terrific, huh? I'll tell you. It's great to have these people all gathered together for a wonderful reason. I didn't bring my flag with me, but I bet you there'll be some flag waving on the 4th of July. A lot of people are here that I know. The parade is scheduled to begin right about now, somewhere near CVPH Medical Center off Upper Cornelia Street. The parade route will be as follows. The parade will head east on Cornelia Street to Margaret Street. We'll then head south on Margaret Street past our vantage point. We've been here for a long time, many years broadcasting on the radio and now on television. From in front of the old courthouse on Margaret Street in downtown Plattsburgh, the parade will pass us probably within a half hour. And we'll make a left-hand turn down toward the middle of town on Bridge Street. And then we'll make a right-hand turn on Durkee Street where it will disband, I understand, somewhere in the vicinity of Farmers Market. It's a great evening. I have no idea what all the other people around here have been planning for the weekend, but there'll be a lot of camping, there'll be a lot of swimming, there'll be a little bit of beer drinking maybe, and I hope everybody has been driving carefully. By the time you see this, you will have known if they did. But there'll be picnics and parties all over the great North Country. A number of people have reminded me that 1 year ago, this whole North Country was underwater. And if you remember the 4th of July, 1998, you know that that time was a very, very wet period here in the North Country. The water was rampaging through Rsvp Chasm. They couldn't even run the boats because it was so wild and crazy. Guess what? My wife Kay and I took a ride over past Rsvp Chasm through Keysville and that area a couple of days ago, and all there is a trickle. Where was that? Oh, Calvin, take a look. See that beautiful new eagle? For those of you who are regular readers of the Plattsburgh Press Republican, you know that Chris Booth carved a new eagle for the front of the old courthouse building. The old one has been taken down and will be in the Clinton County Historical Museum not more than a half a block from here in perpetuity. But Chris Booth spent a long time and a labor of love carving that beautiful golden eagle, which is now ensconced on the top of that little pinnacle on the old county courthouse, one of the great landmarks here in downtown Plattsburgh. Now, where did Mrs. Bacon go? You see what happens to me? Oh, there she's sitting down. I'm going to kind of drift over here and kneel down. Don't think you can escape me.
Hi,
Mrs. Bacon, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Where's the big John tonight?
He's going to be in the parade shortly.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
In his uniform?
In his uniform.
He is going to die.
And yes, I believe he will. He's going to be riding in a Jeep.
Is he? Oh, he's going to be riding. At least he doesn't have to march it.
That's correct.
Isn't it great?
Oh, wonderful.
You and I may not be the most patriotic people here, but
yes, we
if
are.
we're not, we're a very close second, right?
That's correct.
We've been in your house a few times doing radio and television interviews after that wonderful movie. What have you guys been doing since the last time I saw you? Where have you been? Traveling? Or?
Yeah, a few places. Well, we've only been home for a month and a half.
A few places? Where did you go?
Oh dear, don't put me on the spot like that.
You can't remember? I bet you probably went up toward Watertown. Maybe you went to Ogdensburg.
Yeah, but like 3 times.
About 3 times. Our viewers may not know why, but that's where John's originally from. He was in the car business up there for a while before he started all his world travels that made him not rich and famous, but at least famous, right?
That's right.
And these people live in Plattsburgh. John has been associated with so many things having to do with some good memories and some bad memories, right?
Sure has.
Not all good. It's great. The camaraderie is wonderful. It's great to see the people who are still around who were there with him during the Second World War. It's sad to remember the bad things that happened during that terrible war, though, isn't it?
Certainly is, but somebody had to do it.
But the 4th of July, this is when patriotism comes out, huh?
It really shows then.
Oh,
and
really?
you can tell by the amount of people around here.
Isn't it great?
Wonderful.
To have the temperature somewhere in the high 80s. I don't even know where. I think we reached a high of 86 or 87 today. But as we sit here at about 10 minutes after 5 in the afternoon, I would say the temperature's got to be over 80, right?
It certainly is. There's no doubt about it.
I thought maybe you would have brought me a cold beer or something, but never mind.
Dear, I'll walk home and get one. I have to leave my car here because it's too hard to get back here by car. You're usually better off to walk.
Well, we'll see John when he comes by. We want you to have a wonderful evening and a great 4th of July weekend.
Thank you, Gordy.
See you later. I love to put people on the spot like that, don't you, huh? Oh, golly. We've seen bicycle riders. We'll see inline skaters, I'm sure. I don't know how many people will be marching the route. Unfortunately, this year, even though there will be a kind of a reviewing stand over to our right, directly in front of the old county courthouse, there will not be a public address system here, I don't believe. There are some live bands jamming down here in Trinity Park in downtown Plattsburgh. You know, Trinity Park is tremendously historical for many, many reasons here. So many significant events have occurred in that park, and as I look across there, I recall many of them connected with patriotic people, with the Gold Star mothers in the wintertime and the summertime and various other times. I've seen flea markets here. I remember in the old days, this is where the farmers had their stands many, many, many years ago in downtown Plattsburgh, but a lot of events here, circuses, carnivals, but dancing in the street seems to be the order of the day. There are a number of downtown establishments that I'm sure stocked up on various kinds of beverages and things to eat for this weekend. One of my grandsons works at a coffee shop, owns part of a coffee shop in downtown Plattsburgh, and he said the trucks were rolling in. I've seen several wonderful antique cars. Look at that old Thunderbird going by. I hope there will be some antique cars in this parade. There have been some great antique car shows here in the North Country over the years, and there'll be some this year. For the benefit of those people who are viewing this at a time later than July 4th, as I'm sure virtually 100% of you will be, there are lots of things happening now, but the July 14th will be another mammoth occasion in downtown Plattsburgh as the people hereabouts celebrate what has become known as the Mayor's Cup weekend. Tremendous sales all over Lake Champlain, the Mayor's Cup races, and then all the landlubber activities that they plan for around downtown Plattsburgh. On a day like today, and on a day like Mayor's Cup weekend, don't ever let it be said that downtown Plattsburgh is dead. A lot of people have been working very hard to revive downtown Plattsburgh, and if you look at the storefronts along here, you will see that most of them are thriving, very much alive. On a regular basis, I work in the Clinton County Government Center, which is right around to Calvin's right, and so I'm in downtown Plattsburgh every day. Every now and again, Calvin and I will take a tour through downtown Plattsburgh and look at some of the old buildings, and we'll try to see what memories they conjure up for us. And sometimes my facts are a little wrong, and I'll always get a few telephone calls at home from people who say, Gordy, you don't really know what happened there in 1878 when there was a big fire and so on and so forth. So that's how we get our education, and we do it. We kind of like our North Country. Calvin was in Malone this morning, right, Calvin, doing a parade. There'll be another parade in Rouse's Point, which will probably be on the actual 4th of July tomorrow, I would guess. How many? Probably the first 4th of July parade I ever saw in Clinton County was in Rouse's Point, way back when. Believe me, it was fantastic. There'll be a number of fireworks displayed there. I think they do them, I don't know if they do them on barges. No, out by the pier. Okay, they do them on barges, I think, across the lake in Burlington. So there'll be a tremendous display over there. Generally, at this time on the 4th of July, both sides of Route 9 south of Plattsburgh would be completely filled with cars. There would be literally hundreds of people like ants all over that mound of dirt that is what's left over of Fort Brown from the Battle of Plattsburgh time in the War of 1812. There would be maybe 7, 8, 10,000 people jamming into the old base oval, Plattsburgh Air Force Base, for activities and games for kids and adults all day long, and they would be spreading out their blankets, and they would be viewing the firework display that would happen after 9 o'clock at night. And I have to tell you, many times I have got myself wet out there. I can't remember if I was wet on the 4th of July last year or not. But we had a good time, and we had a lot of good times on the base, and we will be missing the fireworks displays on Plattsburgh Air Force Base over this 4th of July weekend. But we'll be delighted to say that there will be fireworks here later tonight. People will be thronging around McDonough Monument, not very far from here, on the shores of Lake Champlain, to watch the fireworks display later this evening. We're going to talk to more people. We're going to see a parade. We're going to have a great time with you as we celebrate the 4th of July on the 3rd of July, 1999 in downtown Plattsburgh. And a few moments have transpired since I last spoke with you. It's now about 20 minutes after 5 on the 3rd of July. The 1999 4th of July parade is underway, of course, led by the Plattsburgh City Police Department and a color guard with the American and Canadian flags and a prisoner of war missing in action. The armed services will, of course, be represented in this parade as they are in many other kinds of parades throughout the years. Post 20 American Legion is coming. They've got the music going. They've got a World War II memorial float. And you can see the ladies dressed up in period costumes with a spirit of '76. And there is Miss Liberty and Abe Lincoln. Nice beard, Abe. I was just watching a program on Abraham Lincoln last night on one of the educational channels on television. I learned a great deal about Abe and his family and when he grew his beard and where he lived and what he did. He was an amazing guy. And one of the things I learned about Abraham Lincoln that astounded me, because I spend so much time telling kids to get an education, was that Abraham Lincoln probably never had more than 1 year of formal education in his entire life. And how long did he live? I think he was 56 years of age when he was assassinated in 1865. But if anybody was self-educated, he was, and he made a tremendous mark on the world. Many people didn't appreciate Abraham Lincoln in his own time. It's kind of fantastic the number of things we've learned about it, as we learned about a lot of people after they die. Communications are far different today than they were in 1865, believe me. There are many things about most major politicians that we don't know. There are a few things we don't want to know, but there are a lot of things we find out thanks to news media who manage to get themselves indoors and around corners. You have to kind of feel a little bit of compassion for some of these guys who are almost as heavy as Gordy Little and maybe a couple of years older, who are walking tall and straight on this 80 some odd degree third day of July 1999 through downtown Plattsburgh. Services are represented, the Canadian services are represented. That's one of the beauties of being in Clinton County, so close to the Canadian border. Many of our neighbors from the north come down. Admiral, Nelson's, Navy. Those are really neat uniforms, reminiscent of days gone by. And we have a brief hiatus, but I hear the drums, a rum-a-tum-tum, so that I know we're going to have some more coming along very soon. As we speak, and since we arrived here about 20 minutes ago, the throngs of people in downtown Plattsburgh or Margaret Street have probably quadrupled. I love some of these uniforms that are coming. Take a look at this, will you? I wonder if that saber is really sharp, huh? Is that supposed to scare away the demons who might cross in front of the parade? Isn't this a neat group? I apologize for not having been given a roster for the 1999 4th of July parade. I would love to tell you who these folks are, but I don't recognize them. I'm sorry. Well, look who the Grand Marshals are. Stephanie Gorin and our good friend Kevin Colleen from the YMCA. What a great group, huh? Is that the most charming smile in Plattsburgh? Next to the guy that does the weather? Look at this. Look at this unbelievable float. It's not Snoopy, but it's gonna have to do, huh? Terrific. Look at the Addams family, aren't they beautiful? The Addams family, ADDAMS, Cellular One. That's kind of a neat float. I told you we have a lot of Canadian groups coming down to visit us, not only during the 4th of July celebration, but at other times of the year. And they're back. You can tell it's an election year, can't you, huh? I still think he ought to grow his mustache back. I know Calvin agrees. He's got his walking shoes on this time, though. Of course, North Country politics are involved in this parade and all the other parades. In the middle there is Terry Gordon, who is the Clinton County Court Clerk, a guy with a beard who's formed a lot of North Country marathons way back when, and even runs a few these days. This is Family Connections on Plattsburgh Air Force Base, for those of you who may not be familiar with it. The little short lady in the last row, Meg Alberry, is the gal who makes it all possible out there. She and Jamie Basilier, they have a wonderful organization. They have a supervised visitation facility, and they're one of the businesses now on former Plattsburgh Air Force Base. Cub Scouts are here. PAC Yeah, 55 maybe? Okay, I can read it backwards, Calvin. We have no idea how many entries there might be in this year's parade, but we're guessing it'll be a good one. From senior citizens who fought in wars past to the little tiny tykes, each of them carrying an American flag. Some of them with the flags in their hair. Those would be brownies, I would guess, right? With the brown sashes. I thought we weren't throwing candy this year. Aha! Veterans of... Oh, I almost got one. I wanted bubble gum. This is VFW Post 125 in Plattsburgh, New York. Hey, that kid's got a pretty good arm down there. Sign him up. Oh, that's really not a little old lady with a shawl. This kid's got the backhand and the over the shoulder and the whole bit. I hope those buckets are full of candy. American military retirees. Somebody mentioned before, we don't really have too long to be getting these World War II stories because, you know, in 10 or 15 years, the World War II veterans their ranks will be depleted. And I mentioned to someone on board the Juniper the other day, as a young person, I can remember Civil War veterans marching in parades, and of course First World War veterans, and Second World War veterans, and then Korean War veterans, and then Vietnam War veterans, and up to the present time. There are so many stories to tell. We started to talk a little bit about John Bacon. I don't know if he was in that retiree car. Calvin is shaking his head no. Look at this bugmobile, huh? The Demon Bugmobile. I bet you whoever painted that was on More Than Lemonade on that day. Is that a wild paint job? Huh? Okay. Radio and television stations are represented here. I saw Channel 5. I saw Foxy and Goose. The Cool 105 car is here. Various other media, I'm sure, will be represented. There will be people from newspapers, maybe some of the media from Montreal will be down here. That's quite a smokestack on top of the Cool 105 vehicle, man. That must be a smoking mobile, huh? See the people perched up above the ivy across the street on the corner of the church? That's neat. I'm sure in the archives, at the Press Republican, at the library, and elsewhere, there are photographs of 4th of July parades in the past. If we had been clever, we would have shown some of those to you before the parade began today, but nobody ever accused us of being clever. This is the local semi-professional football team. Changed its name, changed its attitude, got their old coach back, and they're ready to kick some you-know-what this year in 1999, having had a couple of preseason games already. The Lake City Stars, that's their new name. Some of the guys in the trucks. The coach, Michael, is driving that truck. I'm sure I saw his face. Mike LeBaire is back again at the helm of that local football team. Yeah, this is going to be a sizable parade. Let's hope the batteries hold out for this one. Let's hope Calvin's arm holds out for this one. People said, Calvin does carry a tripod with him. I said, well, if he does, he never shows it to me. It must be a very tiny fold-up tripod. The man has got to have a groove in that right shoulder. Unbelievable. More military color guards and units represented here today with their shiny helmets. We remember many 4th of July parades in the past where there were large contingents from Plattsburgh Air Force Base. That, my friends, is no more. Here's a couple little ones that are very hard to see. I would guess maybe representative of a Little League baseball team, huh? Could be, or Summer League. There's a lot of baseball going on at softball. A lot of summer sports for kids to play year-round here in the North Country. Here's a Brownie troop coming up. Number 44. Soaring to new heights in the millennium. They're going to the moon. Look at the little green man. I love it. A lot of originality, creativity in some of these floats here today. Oh, shades of the Mardi Gras. We're giving out the necklaces, huh? I've never been to New Orleans, but if I do, I'll get one of those. You can count on it. And who do we have here? Well, this is one of our favorite all-time organizations, Smokey Rabideau and the Rsvp Kitchen Band. What a group. We talked about some of the former kitchen bands that we followed down through the years. And we've been closely connected with that organization for a long time in the late Joe Spears memory. There's no doubt with some of those people who've been playing with that band for a long, long time. Here's the KFC, Knights of Columbus, Plattsburgh Council 255. Tell me that those suits are cool, and I'll find at least 6 or 8 guys down there who will beg to differ with you. But don't tell them that while they got those sabers raised high. Look at the baby, isn't that beautiful? Everybody's talking about what new babies will be born after midnight in the new millennium. Hold on tight to them. This is the time to instill patriotism in the youngsters, that's for sure. Here it is. Don't fire now because the cannons are coming down on us. Hey, we'd have been proud to have you in the Battle of Plattsburgh. KFC, 1897, 1999. I thought I heard some Christmas music. Egads, I did. The North Pole, I think, is celebrating an anniversary this year, I heard, too. The Big 5-0? Wow. Is that little Bo Peep in the back there? Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone, they'll come home wagging their tails. Behind them, did we think we'd wag them in front? Now if you'll take your books off the backs of your seats. Oh, sing loudly now. 100 years of service. Elks, 621. Yes, I have been to a few functions at the Elks Club. And there's a hoop shoot going on. Sign that kid up. Oh, sorry, I was going to say 3 for 3. we put a new battery in and all of a sudden it's Easter time. If it's going to be Christmas, it might as well be Easter time. A lot of good hugs for the good little boys and girls, huh? Look at the Easter Bunny. My grandmother, what big ears you have. I don't know about you, but it's kind of exciting to see this many people together, having a good time. This is a wonderful country we live in, and we're located adjacent to another wonderful country, next to a beautiful lake that's adjacent to another great state. A lot of things to be thankful for here in our nation and in Plattsburgh, New York, and Clinton County on 4th of July weekend, 1999. We have a very lusty economy, and very few people can't find a job. And I feel good. This would be another Canadian marching unit with the little ones with their pink and green and white pom-poms, and the older teens involved too. We have a couple drum and bugle corps here in northern New York. I don't know if they'll be represented here today. But we know the Canadian units will always be here. I don't know if my favorites, the Straw Hatters, will be here today, but I'm anxious to find out. Somebody got some real nice pipe tobacco near us. I love the smell of pipe tobacco, even though I don't smoke anymore. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision with you here. Oh well, another radio station heard from. This one with a bigger bus, WOKO 98.9. I wonder if those are kids and family members of employees. I think that radio station makes more bumper stickers than any radio station I've ever seen. I see some cars with 10 WOKO bumper stickers on them. Well, well, well. Look at the truck coming up after that. Is that not the sharpest truck you have ever seen in your life? I have to say that, you know, because the fire station is within 25 feet of my house. And God forbid if I should ever have a fire, I want those guys to be on my side. As a matter of fact, they have been many times. And on this hometown cable television show, we have spent a lot of time promoting the volunteer fire department and the paid fire units here in Plattsburgh and all over the North Country. Wonderful volunteer firemen who give so much so that your homes and property can be saved. And another Canadian unit stops in front of the reviewing stand and shows its colors and its best style. Yes, folks, there will be awards. I'm not sure we'll be able to tell you who won what before we finish our broadcast here today, but I would not want to be a judge here. I've been a judge at many parades in the past, and it was always extremely difficult to pick winners, especially when there are a lot of homemade floats. There it is, Morrisonville Fire Department. They don't have too many racing teams anymore. Remember in the field days when there was a field day every weekend and they all had racing teams? Morrisonville firemen were always well represented. There's Bill LePage. Clinton County Fair, July 20th. Big Don Ducat was driving, in case you couldn't see him. Not that Bill LePage is big enough to block the sun from him, but. And Kicks 96. Another country station heard from. Another pretty neat paint job, I might say. I told you we'd have some inline skaters before we were through today. This is obviously a representative group from PYH, which for the uninitiated stands for Plattsburgh Youth Hockey. A few moms and dads and aunts and uncles and coaches represented. Youth hockey is real serious business these days. We have turned out some tremendous players have gone on to become Division I hockey superstars. And every now and again, one from the region, the Burlington area, will go on to make the big time, like Mr. John LeClaire. And here come the little elves. Cinderella and her entourage. That's the skating club of the Adirondacks, in case anybody should ask. Another great organization. Been to quite a few of their shows in the years. Maybe they should have put the Hell to Pay back on John Bacon's float, which is following in a Jeep after this one. But John would have a few stories that might fit in with that theme. This group represents the Long Branch, one of the popular watering holes here in downtown Plattsburgh, right around the corner at Margaret and Bridge Streets. I thought Calvin was going to do a little karaoke, but he said he forgot the words. There's John Bacon, 101st Airborne, D-Day, World War II, Private Ryan Sargent. They got it all written down there, don't they? We interviewed his wife before our program started today, and you know how proud she is of John. Don't you think that flag doesn't fly in front of John's house every day of the year? Another group from Quebec joining us for the parade. We're recording this at 5:47 in the evening on the 3rd day of July, 1999. Various communities holding their parades on various days over the weekend. Some people had very long weekends, taking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. I won't name any names, but I did see a few people who came to work Friday morning and developed terrible headaches by noon. Let's listen to music. nice mellow sound, and look at that beautiful fire truck and that great Dalmatian on the top of the Cumberland Head Fire Department truck. Engine 182. Various departments in the North Country have various colored paint jobs on their trucks. Some are white, some are blue, as in Peru, and some are the traditional red. Don't forget the ice and water rescue team in the back of that Cumberland Head fire truck as well. Here they come represented here. Look at this hovercraft emergency vehicle that they use on the ice. These guys are highly skilled, tremendously trained, and virtually unafraid to jump in water that has several feet of ice on the top of it in the wintertime. These are amazing, Wolf and the gang, amazing people. Talk about dedication, highly trained people. Oh, we got some more floats coming. Various businesses, of course. Here we have the Adirondack Bank represented. I should mention here, just as a tribute to my good friend Mike Brassel and his wife are leaving the area, having been transferred when their bank he represented here in town was sold. There's a surprise party for him going on at the Royal Savage tonight that I hope to attend to wish him the very best. Randy Beach worked very hard with the park organization, as you know. The bankers are very often the heartbeat of things that go on in the North Country, making deals that you and I never find out about until later to help new businesses settle in this area, which is a prime concern these days for the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base. Very nice float. And the various service organizations are all represented here tonight. You've seen a couple already, including the Elks. Now, the Kiwanis Club of Plattsburgh. It's been a lot of good times on the radio for Kiwanis Radio Day for many years, helping to raise literally hundreds of thousands of dollars for that organization and for others here in the North Country, and every moment was a joy. I hear bagpipes, my favorite. Nice diapers, huh? Y2K plus 9 months equals baby boom. That's okay. Kiwanians love kids. Is this cool or what? What a novel idea for a float. Everybody's wide awake in that bed, though. Prime Link is here from the Northern Tier. Rescue hose number 5, probably the oldest fire unit in the area. Came close to extinction a few years in its day. We remember when Rescue hose number 5 had a firehouse up on South Platt Street in Plattsburgh, and now have new quarters, raised money to buy new vehicles, and they're everywhere. Rescue hose number 5 supplying lights and air gear for virtually every fire in this entire region. every single structure fire in this region and have for many, many years. Very dedicated group of people. And the North Country appreciates them, as you can see by these amazing vehicles. This is the newest one right here in the rear. They're the ones that fill the Scott air packs that you hear about. All right, here they come. RCAF Association from Montreal, Canada, and that Bonnie Lassie. Good sizable portion of my roots on my father's side started in Scotland, and that's why I'm always moved by the pipes. I think the name Little is an old Scottish word for cheapskate, I'm not sure. Represented next, the CVPH Medical Center. A few people that we interviewed just a few days ago in real time. The new Alice T. Minor Center for Women and Children. We also did a special program on the new Ambulatory Surgery Center at the CVPH Medical Center facility near Hannaford's, behind Smithfield Boulevard off Booth Drive, the west end of Plattsburgh. Local medical center, a conglomerate of what used to be the old Champlain Valley Medical Center or hospital was here on one end of town, and Physicians Hospital, created by Mr. Minor back in the 1920s. Champlain Valley Hospital closed and moved in with Physicians, and now they're CVPH, a major regional medical center. Just finished another major fund drive to build that Alice T. Minor Center for Women and Children. A lot of dedicated people, and I might at this time mention the very strong nursing programs at both Clinton Community College and SUNY Plattsburgh to crank out the people needed for this facility and others. And CV Tech, another organization that we're closely aligned with, and we've done several programs with them, and we'll do more with them in the future, helping our youngsters to be better and better in every way, and adults too. I guess that little vehicle would have to have a small engine, wouldn't it? All right, that makes perfect sense to me, Clyde. Mobile health, the wave of the future, bringing it right to you. I'm not talking about rabies shots either. We have mobile blood banks. Our blood banks go to various locations to draw blood. I heard we were a little bit short at the CVPH Medical Center blood bank, so if you've been thinking about giving blood, now might be a good time. I knew we couldn't have a North Country parade without a farm-all. Now, if we can only get a John Deere in here. Oh, a lot of great sirens. Not on the farm-all either. There's the O'Connell family. Last time we saw them, where were we? Oh, on board the Juniper for a book signing. There's a little schoolhouse going on right here. See the guy driving the truck here, former state trooper, Dave Dona, who is Clinton County coroner, and he's running for office once again. Very patriotic Plattsburgh Municipal Lighting Department, whose theme, of course, is public power, lighting your way into the future. We're kind of proud of the municipals all around the North Country. It just happens that the one in Plattsburgh is one of the oldest in the nation and supplies power to local residents at a rate that is still probably the cheapest per kilowatt hour of anywhere in the United States of America. That's kind of amazing. It was even cheaper before nuclear. The nuclear surcharge came along. Oh, the kids are scarfing up. Boy, they should have brought their pillowcases to put the candy in. This is the New Jerusalem Baptist Church. Number of religious sects and organizations represented in most of the parades, as they are here in the North Country. Another fire department heard from, Sable Forks. Trucks 112 and 113. How many times a year do you think they wash those fire trucks, huh? I see them up there. You hear them on their plectrons or their mobile radio saying there will be a work detail tonight. Get ready for the Sable Fork. Get ready for the Sable Forks Field Day, the Plattsburgh Field Day, the Rouse's Point Field Day, the parade. 113 is called the Little Squirt. This is kind of a massive parade. I don't know. This could turn out to be not only almost a record attendance, and people have apparently come from many miles around to see this 4th of July parade, but the entertainment is great. Dancers from the Baptist Church performing now. So low we can't even see them. There they are. Generally, a parade that takes an hour to go by any given point is a long parade, and this one is apparently going to break that mark, as we're talking about 2 minutes to 3 minutes past 6 o'clock on the 3rd day of July 1999, 4th of July weekend parade in downtown Plattsburgh. Tiny babies, teenagers, moms and dads, grandpas and great-grandpas. I don't know how many generations we might have here today, but we've seen lots of our favorite people, the senior citizens, lots of our favorite people, the kids of the North Country. As a matter of fact, we love everybody. How can you help it on the 4th of July weekend? I don't know if it might be a rainy day when you happen to see this on your local television station, but it sure is a beautiful Saturday and what's destined to be a pretty good 4th of July weekend weather-wise. Wow. It's like all these people have just been waiting for a chance to get out and party. And the parade is moving again. Every now and again it stops, as you know, for one of the performing units to show its stuff to the judges before the reviewing stand. Once again, I apologize for not having a roster. It's obvious to me what some of the units represent, but some are not named, especially our Canadian friends, so I can't give proper recognition to them if I don't recognize them, but it's all right. We do our best, and if you're viewing us across the border, hey, we have a new Canadians. This probably represents the La Leche League, I would guess. We were talking about mother's milk being perfect nutrition. It's for Clinton, well, it's the Clinton County Health Department and the WIC program. That's what it is. Some familiar faces there. The WIC program assisting women, infants, children in the North Country who need assistance. Oh, 2 units in the parade, huh? From WOKO? Okay. It's a smart publicity move to have one near the beginning and one at the other end. I see more and more floats turning the corner. Just to review, this parade began well over an hour ago on Upper Cornelia Street at the entrance off Cornelia Street to the CVPH Medical Center. It began to slowly wend its way eastward toward Margaret Street, where it made an abrupt right turn heading south past our vantage point, which is almost on the front lawn of the old courthouse in downtown Plattsburgh. From there, the parade contingents will be making a left-hand turn onto Bridge Street, and from there a right-hand turn onto what in recent years has been called Durkee Street, completely rehabilitated with an old clock and a city parking lot where many other things used to be, and the farmers market, and that's where they'll eventually end and disband later this evening. And these crowds gathered here will head for McDonough Monument after dusk to watch what they hope will be a sterling 4th of July fireworks display. Another North Country political contingent. There's Judge Pat McGill. A little right-handed over-the-shoulder candy toss to the kids. Railroad crossing. Look out for the cars. Can you spell it without any R's? Here comes a superhero. I take that back. Is that a beautiful costume or what? The kids love it. Holding up the rear to our left is the Adirondack Humane Society, formerly the League for the Control and Protection of Animals, which is doing very well, thank you, in its new animal shelter on the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base. For many years now, assisting people who want to adopt various kinds of animals, finding homes for those companions, and is truly a rejuvenated organization. They were fortunate to have found a home at Plattsburgh Air Force Base for their shelter, which was already in use previously by the Air Force. Great costume. Our animal shelter at Park, dedicated to finding homes for animals. This is a really neat float. Look at the bulldog on the other side. Watch him drool. Is that cool? He is so warm. This is a really nice float. Somebody spent, not that they're all not nice, but they got dogs on leashes. They got kids dressed up. They got the caveman motif. And I think they've done a super job. Mind you, it's a warm July night in downtown Plattsburgh. I dare say it's still over 80. We achieved a high in the probably 86 or 87 degrees today. It's hanging in there, folks. It's going to be one of those muggy nights with tomorrow, Sunday, the 4th of July, expected to be in the mid-90s. Find a cool pool party would be my suggestion for that 4th of July. Well, here comes the rubber ducky. This has to do with a race they have with ducks down the Saranac River. You adopt a duck and win a prize. There's Kevin Killeen. How did he do that? He's coming back again. There he is in the truck. Kevin again. Yeah, he's cool. Unless it's the evil twin, I'm not sure. But they're back again for the Kiwanis Club. Chassis of that truck all painted up for this occasion. We got some great fire units coming again here South Plattsburgh. I told you they all have different colors. That is theirs. South Plattsburgh 321. Glad to have them a part of our 1999 4th of July weekend parade in downtown Plattsburgh. Here's a beautiful old truck with a siren right in the middle on the nose from Malone, New York. The Village of Malone Fire Department. It's hard for me to tell what year that might be, but I'll guess It looks like a Packard, strangely enough. I'm not sure that I'm right, but I'm guessing late 1930s. And the Beekmantown Fire Department. Each one of the local fire departments now has what they call a brush truck. See where it says on the back, grass-brush. We have a lot of brush fires in the North Country. One of the driest summers on record, and these brush trucks are sorely needed. When you're in the first week of July and the grass crunches under your feet, you know you need rain. There's District 3. For those of you outside Clinton County, that's the fire department, District 3 in the town of Plattsburgh, with their main fire station on Hammond Lane, which is just west of Plattsburgh. Here's the District 3 aerial truck. We now have a number of buildings in the area that are more than 3 or 4 stories high, so some of the departments do have an aerial truck, and every now and again, under the mutual aid system, you will hear a fire call go out for the District 3 aerial. And when you do, on your scanners at home, it's this amazing piece of equipment right here. Isn't that dandy? We are so fortunate to have a Sterling emergency 911 system that is also located on the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base that had a ribbon cutting and open house recently. This is a great old fire truck that belongs to the Plattsburgh Fire Department that was in large measure restored by the inmates at Clinton Correctional Facility a few years ago. Don't live on the ground floor. Engine 283 from the city. Various trucks, various kinds of strobe lights, different kinds of horns and sirens. A good opportunity for me to tell you to be courteous when a fire truck or ambulance comes behind you. Get off the road, pull over, and let them go and do their thing. I think we are approaching the end of this parade, which I dare say is very close to 1 hour long. It's now about 6:18 on the third day of July in the afternoon in downtown Plattsburgh. As the last units go by, it doesn't take long for this crowd to begin to disperse. We hear a murmur as they all head for something cool to drink. I wouldn't be surprised, in downtown establishments or in their picnic baskets or their backpacks. Later on tonight there will be the traditional fireworks display, but not in the traditional place in downtown Plattsburgh. That'll be held near the McDonough Monument for the first time in a long, long time, as opposed to the old base oval on the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base. I think I could probably get a job sweeping the streets tonight. What do you think? Some of that candy would not be fit to eat the second time around. This is, I don't know if you want to call it the aftermath. Maybe we'll call it the afterglow.
Oh my.
We're just talking with people in downtown Plattsburgh. We just picked somebody at random. The Calvin happens to know. It's Lori Lefebvre, right?
Right.
I'm very good at remembering names for about 7 or 8 seconds. After that, it's flush it because I can't remember.
Well, you got it right.
Tell me your connection with this guy over here.
My connection with this guy, let's see, when I was in high school in Shazy about, I don't know, too many years ago, Calvin would stand in Calvin's coop in the soccer field.
Oh yes, they did call it.
You got it, and take all of our videos as we actually did some great stuff. We went to the state championships, all kinds of good stuff, and Calvin was there with us the whole way.
And when did you graduate? We might as well pin it down.
1987.
Ooh, that's only 12 years. You don't look a day over 17 and a half.
You I like.
And I got a lot more of those compliments where that one came from. What have you done since 1987?
Let's see, I went to college, and then in
Where'd you go?
Right here, SUNY Plattsburgh.
Wonderful.
And then I moved down to the Washington, D.C. area in 1990, and I've been there ever since.
You live in Washington?
Actually, I live in Virginia now. But,
where?
In Manassas.
Oh, I know Manassas very well.
It's a fun town.
I love rural Virginia.
It's gorgeous.
If they ever kicked me out of Clinton County, that's where I'd probably end up.
Sounds good.
We had a radio station at Front Royal there at one time and have many relatives in Manassas and Front Royal and that general area. And we've raised a lot of our kids on vacationing in Washington, going through the Smithsonian.
Oh, it's a wonderful place to live.
Climbing the monument.
Which is closed right now.
Is it really?
Yes, actually they're redoing the entire outside exterior of the monument, and there's scaffolding up from the base to the top. It's amazing.
Oh, wow. I'd love to see it. Yeah. So that's where you live now, in Manassas?
In Manassas.
And what are you doing?
I'm a political fundraiser, and I have my own fundraising firm, which is a little scary. Not that we're going to talk politics or anything, so.
No, but that's great. How and why in that field?
I was a political science major here and went to DC on an internship actually, and never left. Got job offers and worked through the Democratic Party in Washington D.C. and stayed forever.
Right place for it.
And stayed right there and started my own firm.
You obviously have a great attitude, and you have a wonderful smile, and you stay in shape. Do you play sports at all now?
I do. I play women's basketball, and and I coach basketball and play softball.
We have a gal. I have to give her a plug. Her name is Kelly Barnes, who is a fine Division I basketball player and works with me with the juvenile division at the Clinton County Probation Department, where I'm a victim's advocate. Kelly is a fine basketball player, a great athlete, and generally a bicycle rider. However, about 2 weeks ago, she and a friend of hers named Stephanie went to Anchorage to run in the Mayor's Midnight Marathon.
Oh my.
To raise money for leukemia. And not only is that a wonderful thing to do, because some 4,500 people from all over the United States gathered there to raise about $10 million for the cause.
Wow.
But to watch these people train who aren't necessarily runners,
right,
who are really ready to die after the first 2 or 3 weeks of training because, you put things off and you figure, well, you're a good athlete, no trouble. I can run 26 miles, no sweat.
I don't think so.
Oh, baby. The stories we heard when they got back, you would appreciate it, Lori, because they're running a lot of it off the road, on rocks, off the pavement, in the woods, down the trails. They're chugging along around the 15th mile, and Kelly told me the person in front of her was really moaning. She was a hurting machine, a big woman. And until she looked up, and there in front of her was the biggest moose in Alaska.
Oh, boy.
The woman all of a sudden started a spurt.
That'll make you run.
Kelly was right behind her, and they finished very well.
Great.
But what great stories, This North Country has turned out a lot of wonderful athletes, male and female.
That's for sure.
Soccer is a fantastic sport. It's grown by leaps and bounds.
I was actually, just this past week, I was at the Women's World Cup, which was, they had the semifinal game, quarterfinal game was in D.C.
Wow. Talk about some sterling talent.
It's amazing.
The American team this year.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
definitely. And the crowds that they've generated all across the country. It's just tremendous.
It's
tremendous.
great. Soccer is a good sport. Shazy equals good soccer.
There you go, of course.
And you guys had some tremendous teams.
And from what I understand,
and they're still
they
cranking
still
them out.
do.
They're still doing it. So what are you doing home? Just to visit for the summer?
I'm here to visit. My mother's birthday is tomorrow, so happy
Where is
birthday,
she?
Marilyn
She here?
Parrott. She's right over there.
Happy birthday to Marilyn. Oh, I love to
There
embarrass
you go.
people.
Oh, I'm not supposed to tell her age. She'll shoot me. She'll be 50 tomorrow.
Not the big hive. Oh, wonderful. She looks like she could run a marathon right
And there
now.
you have it.
Or
Of
at
course
least
she could.
make it to the corner of Court Street over there.
So I'm home for my
If
mom's
she were chased
birthday.
by that moose.
So I'm home for my mom's birthday, and then I'm actually going to stay the entire week next week and just enjoy the North Country.
Hang out and enjoy the North Country.
got it.
We love it here, and we love to have you back, Lori.
Well, thank you. It's
Best
great
of
to
luck
be
in
home.
everything you do.
Thank you.
And if you run for president, Calvin and I will be your first
Hey.
2 big supporters.
We'll build a Calvin's Coop. We'll put it on a car. You can go follow me all around the country.
I think we've got a plan. I think we got enough Blarney to run for some high
There you
office,
go.
don't you? Well, they didn't leave me standing at the altar. They just left me standing on the street corner of Margaret and Court Street in downtown Plattsburgh. The sun is far from going down, even though it's 20 minutes before 7, so it will be a couple hours or 2 hours and a half before they have the fireworks to finish up this 4th of July celebration on the 3rd of July in downtown Plattsburgh. We have talked informally with a number of politicians and former politicians, with people on the street, with folks walking by, and to a man and woman and child, everybody thought this was one of the best 4th of July celebrations Plattsburgh has ever seen. I, for one, was encouraged and astounded by the number of people who jammed into downtown Plattsburgh to have a good time. There are still a lot of people in downtown Plattsburgh. As you look to the east end of Trinity Park, you'll see a great number of people down there because there are live concerts, there are fireworks planned, McDonough Monument in the far future, in the far distance, about 1,000 feet from here, or that regal eagle on the top, which has never really flown away. And people will be all around the bank to listen to a concert down there and to watch some fireworks later this evening, and what a great way to wrap up the celebration. I hope your 4th of July was a good one. I hope the spirit of America lives forever. I'm one of those people who loves to sing the Star-Spangled Banner. I have to tell you an anecdote about being at the Peru High School graduation at the field house a few weeks back with my family, and my daughter Diane loves to sing, and I cannot help it. Even if I sing under my breath, when the anthem is played, I'm always so stirred that I must sing the words. And so I did, and Diane heard me, and Diane began to sing, and we both tried to top the other, and pretty soon we had a contingent of about 15 people around our general vicinity standing up proudly at attention in the stands, singing every single word of the national anthem. And thank goodness the Peru band did not start so high that I couldn't hit that last note near the end. But it felt good to do that, and it feels good to be here today. We are proud to be Americans and proud to be great citizens of Plattsburgh and the North Country. That wraps up our portion of downtown Plattsburgh. Oh, there's my man. We can't wrap it up. You've got to follow me because I want to walk down and meet Arthur P. Pierce. And we're going to get him. He's not jogging, he's ambling. There's Arthur P. Pierce. There's my man. How are you, Arthur?
I'm good.
I'm good too. Did you see the parade, my friend?
Oh, man.
What did you think of that?
It was nice.
All we lacked was a player piano in the back of a float.
You
know?
better believe that, Gordy.
You know what I heard? I got to tell you this. You, among all people, will appreciate this. I listen to public radio a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I heard the original Stars and Stripes Forever on an old ancient record that they played. They took a few scratches out.
Right.
And oh boy, talk about stirring the blood.
Right.
Oh, they played the Stars and Stripes forever, and I almost, if I hadn't been driving my car, I would have stood up and saluted.
I used to have the Stars and Stripes Forever on a player piano roll, four-hand arrangement.
Did you really?
And I'm telling you, man, that really made the player piano jump right off the floor.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great?
I know it. Yeah.
Isn't it great to see all these people, the little kids and the grandparents?
I love it. I love it.
It's, I love a parade. That sounds like a lead into something. I don't know
and
what.
how. You got that right,
I
Cody.
saw you coming around the corner, and I said, what a fitting way to finish our tribute to the 4th of July weekend at downtown Plattsburgh, and to stop and chat for a minute with one of my oldest and dearest friends, Art Pierce. Every time we play your program that we did at your place and the one we did with Bird and Chet and you and I, people call and say, wow, well, how old are those guys? They must be 177.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm only 74. I will be in November. And I feel pretty good.
Well, you look pretty good compared to the way you were not too many months ago. You scared the living bejeepers out of me, buddy boy. I want you to know that.
That was a rough time. Yeah. And I'm still, my legs are still weak, but I get around. I'm doing my work. Hey. I'm enjoying that work. Let me tell you.
That makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
You're not kidding.
What are you working on now?
Right now I'm working on a 1976 player piano for a man in Burlington. And it's a dog to work on.
Really bad?
They don't make them like they did years ago.
No, I bet they don't.
No.
Are you restoring it completely?
Yeah, well, no, but I'm getting the insides put back together. It's a dog to work on. Really is.
You're not putting in a full day every day, are you?
Just about. Yeah.
Gotta slow down, Arthur. Slow
I know.
down. Yeah.
But I enjoy it.
Are you doing any tuning now or not?
Oh, yes.
Still doing that too?
You betcha.
Still got the good ear?
You're darn right.
I love it.
I enjoy it.
How's Blanche doing?
Could be better, but she's doing okay.
Boy,
she's hanging in there.
Never saw a woman stand by her man any more than she stood by you when you were over there in Burlington.
I'll tell you.
For 40 what? How many days?
43 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
40 days and 40 nights. He broke the record, 43 days.
I'll tell you. Yeah, when I didn't quite get out in time for my birthday, but I got out.
Yeah, you got out, and you're going to be with us for a good long time to come. Arthur?
Good Lord willing.
Good Lord willing, if the creek doesn't rise.
You got that right.
Arthur, have a wonderful day and a great life, my friend.
I'll do that, Gordy.
Always great to see you, downtown Plattsburgh or anywhere.
Okay, Gordy.
And I want you to know, North Country, that you'll probably see a little bit of the Malone Parade after this one on your favorite public access channel. And who knows where we're going to be next time or who we're going to run into.